It's Monday morning, early October 2021, and we are camped in Deschutes National Forest just outside of Bend, Oregon. We made it here over the weekend from Ketchum, Idaho, which was about an 8-hour westward drive. Yesterday, Shannon, Finnegan, and I enjoyed walking around and exploring Bend a little bit.
Oh, good leap, buddy.
Whoa.
I looked at them and I was like, is that a bunch of sculptures? No, they're real.
We sold us some errands and then came out here into the backcountry to seek out a base camp for the week. I thought we found a really great spot on a ridge overlooking town to the east, and it has really good cell service. But after last night, I'm not so sure. We were in bed last night, and it was around 1 a.m. when we heard shuffling. Really loud shuffling, and this wasn't unusual because our little dog Finnegan likes to wander around in the dark.
Good morning. Rise and shine, mister?
Shannon leaned over the edge of the bed to check on him, and then she turned to me and said, "That's not Finnegan. He's sleeping quietly down below." I had been asleep and was groggy, so it took me a moment to process that. But when I realized what she was saying, I quickly hopped out of bed, turned on the outside lights, and then peered out the windows. I didn't see anything, so I gave it a few minutes, turned off the lights, and went back to bed, knowing that it was probably a critter, and we were safely inside the locked van, so there wasn't much to worry about. It had made a lot of noise, like it was climbing around on the outside of the van, and I thought, cool, maybe it's a puma, or thought maybe a raccoon. A few hours later, we heard the loud shuffling again, and this time I looked out the back window from bed, and very faintly in the night I could see the silhouette of what appeared to be a very large rodent sitting on the metal box on the back of our van. I'm not 100% sure what it was. I suspect a rat, but it could have been a possum or a weasel or some sort of marmot. It was certainly nowhere near as large as it originally sounded. It could have even been a thick squirrel. This morning I checked around camp and there are tiny claw prints on Orangie's windshield. I popped the hood of the Revel and there's little footprints in the dust there. I think Shannon's going to spend the rest of the day here in the van, and then after work she's going to head out and seek out a new base camp. It's a shame though, because this seems to be a really nice lesser known spot just a short drive from town. While we were in town yesterday, I called around to different auto parts stores to source 2 replacement batteries for the Jeep. If you've seen the last 2 episodes of Enter Forward, you know that I've been having to jumpstart the Jeep every morning, and we're going on our 2nd week of this now. So I did find a pair of Optima yellow tops at a local O'Reilly Auto Parts, and I am going to swap them out right now. It's still early in the day, and after I'm done doing the battery work, I want to head out into the field and do some exploring. The Jeep feels much better. It's starting with a lot more vigor, and I think the electrical problems are sorted for now. I returned the old batteries to O'Reilly and then ran some errands in town. I also stopped at El Sancho's for tacos. Bend has some of the most delicious food, and I definitely wanted to stop in town for lunch before coming out here into the backcountry. This is early October in Oregon. I went into Safeway today and they had ready-to-heat meals in a refrigerator right inside the grocery store entrance. So I got chicken Alfredo. I am eating like a king tonight. It is very cold out. I don't know, feels like it's in the 20s. It's easily going to be below freezing tonight. I'm sort of wondering if I'm going to wake up in the morning and find snow on the ground. It's frost. It was a cold one last night, and it still kind of is. For the most part, I was completely comfortable. I'm wearing all the layers. I have 2 pairs of socks on, long underwear, an REI base layer, and my pants. So a total of 3 pairs of pants. I'm wearing a long sleeve t-shirt, my black Arc'teryx sweater, and my coat over that. Last night in bed, I was wearing most of this except for my coat and my outside pants. And I was inside both my 0-degree mummy bag and my Kelty 20-degree double-wide sleeping bag. I had the sleeping bag cinched up over my head, and I was fine. Of course, getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom was not a desirable notion. I absolutely love the atmosphere and the mystique of old-growth forests in the Pacific Northwest. East of the city of Bend, Oregon, you have high desert with desert scrub, juniper trees. Directly to the west of Bend, before you get out of the city even, it switches to coniferous woodlands surrounded by ponderosa pines. And then the further west you go from there, the more dense and mature the forest becomes. Orangie started right up this morning, no issues. I'm glad I replaced the batteries when I did, because I do not think the old batteries would have fared so well in this cold temperature. I just got back to the Jeep after a lovely morning stroll, and I broke camp. I'm off to do some more exploring. In Deschutes National Forest, there is a vast network of forest roads back here. There's a lot of logging going on back here, so the roads are usually passable by pickup trucks and stock SUVs. In fact, this would be a great backcountry route for our Winnebago Revel. Beautiful Lakeside Forest Service campground. It's so quiet. That's why I love exploring this time of year and in the winter. Yes, it's cold and I complain about it, but every place is so quiet and secluded. I suspect this place is very busy in the summer, but right now there's fishermen, there's some hikers over there. Nobody is camping, and after last night's freezing temperatures, I get it. I'm out and about looking for a place to spend the night, and I found this quiet campsite at the edge of a burn area with these 2 very, very tall trees that escape the burn. On the plus side is, if I choose to camp here tonight, I am at 5,000 feet. Therefore, I can use my Webasto gasoline heater to stay warm during the night. It's prone to clogging up with carbon if I use it at high elevation, so I just bundle up instead. It's a nice spot, but I think I'm going to keep looking. just about 6 p.m. and I'm losing daylight, but I found an exceptional campsite by the creek. I'm at 4,500 feet down in this valley, so I'm going to run my heater to stay warm. Plus, I have the white noise from the creek, so I think that I'm going to sleep very well tonight. Of course, since I'm over 2,000 feet lower tonight, I don't need the heater as much as I did last night. Nevertheless, it's cranking away and it feels great in here. In fact, I even had to open up a window a little bit to vent some of the excess heat. I'm just happy that I don't have to wear as many layers, and I don't have to close my sleeping bag over my head. That heater, I love it. I love it. While it's not perfect in that it's not calibrated for higher elevations, the proof of concept is on point. It was so toasty in the Jeep last night, and a snow squall clearly passed through and I had no idea. For the record, I've had no issues with the Webasto Airtop 2000 STC at the lower elevations. However, at 7,000 feet, I've found that it can clog up with carbon in the matter of a few nights. And once it gets inundated, it needs to be dismantled and cleaned, which is why I never push my luck with it, and I just limit my usage to low elevations. The Three Sisters, three towering mountains or volcanoes west of Bend, Oregon, and also Sisters, Oregon. For the past few days, I've been exploring Deschutes National Forest in the foothills to the east of these mountains, and I have to say that the scenery does not disappoint, although it is cold. Nevertheless, the backcountry has been empty and very quiet and serene. I guess because no one in their right mind comes out in this cold, blustery weather. That being said, I'm going to head into town right now, grab something for lunch, and then I think head back to base camp. I've got pizza on my mind. After enjoying a few slices of pepperoni in the charming town of Sisters, I am back at our base camp near Bend, Oregon. Shannon did indeed relocate the van to another base camp that was only a stone's throw away, one that seemingly is not inundated with critters. As I already mentioned, this region around Bend is notable because the landscape goes from high desert to densely forested. Just another hour of driving to the west and to the northwest, you're on the other side of the Cascade Range, and the scenery transitions once again into more of a temperate rainforest. So as you saw this week, Oregon's landscape is beautiful, wildly varied, and I can't wait to see more. I am going to call that a wrap for the week, but I hope you all enjoyed this week's adventure in Central Oregon. Thanks for following along, and I will catch up with you next week.